Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a CanvasCon session. This is the encore presentation from the CanvasCon USF. And I will turn it over to Jeremy Perkins, who will start our presentation off this morning. Jeremy?
Thanks, B-Rai. So this is Jeremy Perkins here. I am a principal implementation consultant for Instructure. What that means is I'm one of the many people who works with people as they get set up with Canvas, doing a lot of the technical integrations. And currently I am full-time on-site with Orange County Public Schools. And as we began sort of getting them set up in Canvas, I sort of got frustrated that I couldn't see some of our initial users. Orange County Public Schools has over 200,000 students, and we were running it for this past semester as sort of a pilot. Any teachers that wanted to could opt into using it. And what we discovered was it was hard through the Canvas analytics to see who was using it. So in order for us to have some extra insight, I decided to explore Google Analytics. So the title of this session is Using Google Analytics to Understand Canvas Usage, and you'll understand why it's called that as we go forward. So Google Analytics is a freemium web analytics service offered by Google that tracks and reports website traffic, right? So it's normally used for e-commerce and a lot of other things. But there's a lot of great data that's sort of captured by default. Now, there are some limitations, so be aware that the paid version is very expensive. But if you are a smaller institution, you may be able to use this with the free version. When I say smaller, notice that it will cap out at 10 million hits per month or over 200,000 hits per day. So just be aware that there are some limitations, and obviously review the terms of use for more information. Be aware that Instructure or myself, Jeremy Perkins, will not be held liable for breaking the terms of use and so on. Now, I do have a how to configure document on how to set up Google Analytics for Canvas. This is in the Canvas community. I did link it already as a comment through the Canvas live session page. So you'll also be able to find it that way. And it is called How to Set Up Google Analytics for Canvas. So I'll just pull that up here briefly just to give you an idea, right? It tells you how to walk through and set up all the different things that you need to, including a custom JavaScript file that you can use to capture certain data from Canvas. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we start going through this. So what type of data does it capture by default? It captures some really cool data like geographic data. So it was really interesting just from a organization standpoint to see where some of our users were logging in. So even though we are still as a pilot, you'll notice all the different places that students were logging in. Now this data was, this is the data set from that overlapped spring break. So it's sort of interesting for us to be able to see, even on spring break, teachers were giving homework, and these are where people were accessing that from. So it just gives you an idea of where the data is coming from. It even will go international, and the Orange County people were actually quite excited about that, that they could see that there were views inside of from Brazil, which is one of their largest incoming language groups. So just sort of interesting data that's available by default. We can track things like page views by day, So this is over the course of a month, from March 1st to March 31st. And like I said, we're still on a pilot mode, and we can see what our users are doing and what our page views looks like. So you can see when spring break was, because we have a decline in usage. But it does sort of give you an idea of week over week usage and what that looks like. Right, and the nice thing about this also is we can even break it down by hour, right? So every time a student or a teacher or anyone in Canvas clicks on a page link, what's happening is Google is capturing that and sending it back. So we can actually sort this out by hour. So in this case, we're seeing but hourly what the usage was like. So you can see, right, the main peak during the school day, and then these little peaks here, which would have been the afternoons or evenings, right, when homework would be worked on by the students. So it just provides, right, some interesting data there for you to look at. Right, now we can also capture user info. And so we can capture things like user role and user ID. And right, there are more things available. Be aware that you need to be careful that you do not violate your terms of service with Google. So initially we were capturing Google or usernames in Canvas, but from Canvas, but turns out that was a violation of Google's terms of services, so we removed that from the configuration file. But the idea, right, is this is all unidentifiable data. So user ID, this is the Canvas internal ID. The only way that this could be mapped back to a user is if you are a Canvas admin, or you've got the Canvas provisioning report exported into a database somewhere. So just know that we will be able to capture that user ID without violating FERPA. Now, talking about user roles, right? Every user has a role assigned to them, and this is declared by Canvas. So when I wrote the script, I did have to come up with some logic to help us understand which students were which, and which ones were admins and teachers. So essentially, because a user can be more than one role, I've said that, if admin is present in the admin array, they're going to be an admin, right? If they're a teacher, they're a teacher. If there's, only students without teachers or admin roles, they're a student. So just be aware that, we have that logic set out. And so once you do this, you can start tracking trends, based off of these different role groups. So we can see on these different days, what our page views look like between students, teachers, and our admins. And so it's actually quite interesting to see on this particular day here, where we have this peak of orange. That was a day that 1,000 student, or 1,000 teacher plus professional development course went out, So very large enrollments, and people were in there same day as it was released, participating and going through content. So it's gives us a little bit of idea of usage. We also can generate things with the user IDs, the top teacher list. And so in this case, I am filtering by teacher and admin roles. And this Canvas user ID is identifiable. If you were to go into Canvas, your domain /users/ and then type in this ID number or copy and paste it, you'd actually be able to identify what user that is. So lots of information here, and if you even want to, you can click down into that user and see what their page views were like. Now this is available inside of Canvas as well in the user's profile page, but this gives you a little bit of extra information. You can actually, I don't have it included in this screenshot, but we can do an estimated time per page that they may have spent here as well. So lots of cool data dive downs that we have available to us. Now, my favorite use of Google Analytics, though, does come from capturing course info. So as you saw in the previous slide, we had information about that user's page views. And here we can see, because the URL in Canvas for courses has the course ID inside of it, the number of the course, we can go ahead and get some information. Now, at Orange County Public Schools, there was a need for us to be able to break out the data based off of sub-account. So they have, each individual bricks and mortar location is its own sub-account, and we wanted to be able to break out that data. So the script does capture the Canvas sub-account ID. Once again, this is the internal ID for that. So you will have to identify what those IDs are a separate way. Now, we can do things like see our top sub-accounts. So in this case, I have a list of sub-account IDs with number of page views, users, average time spent per page. And there are lots and lots of different metrics that you can use to measure by. This is was more of a proof of concept for us, just to get an idea, and just wanted you guys to be able to see some of these different screenshots. Our top courses inside of a particular sub-account, we're able to see that. You don't have to narrow it down by sub-account. For this report, it's something that I did. But we can see which courses are the biggest, and which ones are have the most users and page views and so on. And then once again, if you click on the course name, you can dive down. So in this case, it can provide a lot of interesting information for us. So if you'll notice the page title number 2, Safari Montage, that's a LTI tool that they use for hosting videos. And so you'll notice that the page view time on that average page time on page is 3 minutes and 57. So we do actually get an idea of how long they spent watching the videos that were on that page. I don't know how long the actual video was, but hopefully it was around 4 minutes long and everyone watched all of the video. That'd be ideal, right? But this does give you an idea of what the course pages look like. It also gives you an idea of how they were accessed. So in this case, this report is filtering by the page title name. So basically in Canvas, there's a title for your pages, your assignments, all of those different things that you're creating. And you'll notice that when we're actually click on that page title name, it gives us a breakdown by URL that includes that. So the first URL list and that the first URL that we can see here, we notice that it does say module item ID. We can see users and average time per page, unique page views, and so on. So everyone, except for the instructor, it looks like, who can edit, is actually accessing this page only through the modules, which is, I'm assuming, the intent of the course designer who designed this page. We can even do things and filter this by over time. So if we wanted to see what time in the day was this page viewed, we can do that, So there are different options for setting up your report. So in this case, it'll tell us what time slots were people viewing this page. Now, if you did this on the course level, this could be really helpful for understanding when to have online office hours for an instructor. So you could actually look at the entire course and see when your users are regularly inside of the course pages or inside of the course participating. And this would be something that would be quite difficult to gather inside of Canvas without a survey or using a tool like Canvas Data. So just wanted to point out, and this is just all data that's freely available inside of Google Analytics. You can even do things like download the Page Analytics Chrome extension to give you a breakdown of the courses. So in this case, I have pulled up here a professional learning course, and we can see where our users click on the page. So you'll notice down here at the bottom, it says 81% click on lessons, which is also the same link as modules. So they either click on modules on the left or lessons down there at the bottom to access the course content. So right, immediately we can get an idea of different course design elements that we want to see. We also get a nice set of data up here at the top from Google Analytics, letting us know about the course. And this is customizable, so you can look at different things you want. So just right as an idea, we can see page views. There's 371. Unique page views is when we have our unique visitors. So it looks like about half of the class has come back to this page at least once, right, to continue with their content. So they didn't do it all in one session. So it's nice that we can go ahead and sort of see what we're doing here. Now, I do want to mention something is this unique page views and these number of users, these are estimates. Sometimes if a user changes a browser, right, so they're on their work computer at school and then they go home and they're on their personal device, that can register as another user inside of Google Analytics. So be aware that, right, these are estimates, but it does give you at least an idea. Because ideally, unique page views and users would match up. So just be aware of that. But we've got, right, the Chrome extension. We also have the ability to have custom dashboards. So you can go ahead and build out dashboards so we can see for us what our page views look like based off of sub-accounts here in this upper left-hand corner. Right, and this is an at-a-glance view. Now, right, you'd have to understand what 15796, which high school or middle school or elementary school that would be. But we do get an idea, right, that we have 6 schools or 6 bricks and mortar locations that are using Canvas as much as all of the rest of them combined, right? And so that's where we can reach out for, right, it helps us from, or Orange County from like a marketing perspective to be able to go to those schools where they probably have a principal who's excited about getting teachers on board with Canvas, or right, some teachers or a group of teachers who are really excited to be able to right, get their opinion on things. They're making marketing videos with those students or with those teachers to help cheer on other teachers' use of Canvas. So, I mean, lots and lots of things just at a glance that we can learn really quick from this data. We can see top courses, and in this case, I'm sorting them or pivoting them around user role. So we can see that this particular table, right, is mostly a student, but the teacher has been in there quite a bit building content. Whereas, right, this course here is a professional development course where our teachers are the ones who are participating heavily in that. So it does, right, once again, give us a little bit of an idea of what our usage is like. And then it gives you great things like active users on site right now, page views over time, and sessions by browser. And sessions by browser. That's actually something that I love. One of someone mentioned that with that, they can finally identify which teachers are using Internet Explorer, right, and hunt them down, because you'll be able to see that, be able to filter and narrow down their user IDs. We have average session duration, average page views by user role. So, right, there's lots of dashboards you can build out. This particular dashboard is one that we're just using to monitor usage at the different schools. So I went ahead and mapped, right, the Canvas ID to the page views. And now I have hidden all the values here, so you can't tell how much or how little they're being used. But we can tell just right by looking at this dashboard how they are being used. So at Apopka High School, it looks like we have a small number of teachers who are actually using that with their students, which is great. Whereas someplace like Boone High School, there's a lot of admin views and a lot of teacher views, which means that there is probably a school level admin conducting professional development inside of that school. Someplace like Colonial High School, though, it looks like it's probably teachers still have unpublished courses and are just building out their content, perhaps in preparation for next year. Right, so once again, with the dashboards and choosing what type of data you want to see, you can gather a lot of information very quickly. Now with your dashboards, so I did even create a further narrowing down of those dashboards. We have, in this case, Wakaiva High School, where you can actually set out notifications. So that previous dashboard, if there was someone at the district office who wanted to compare all usage across all high schools, or in this case, I want to send this report to a principal of a high school, it's available to me. I can actually schedule a weekly email. So when you're setting your date ranges, you can say the last 7 days as your date range. And so basically what would happen is every last 7 days, or every Monday weekly, they're going to get an email from me or whoever sets this up, with a PDF of that dashboard. So lots and lots of options available for not just building the content, but also sharing that, We don't necessarily have to give all of our principals and admins access to Google Analytics. We can instead send them a nice PDF via email and have that be scheduled. So once again, I would there's the link for how to set it up. And something that we would hope that you will do is share the template links. So there's an option to basically copy your links. So as long as you have are keeping your custom dimensions, so you'll notice I have, when we set up our dimensions inside of Canvas, as long as you are keeping those the same across all of our schools, when you create a dashboard, you can share that, and other institutions can literally just click on the link and import it into their own instance. So it can be very handy. So please, share your dashboards. Now, in addition to creating dashboards directly in Google Analytics, Google does have Google Data Studio, which is also a free tool, which you can tie directly to your Google Analytics database. It's very handy for you to be able to build out lots of things. Here, I very roughly just threw in some data and some charts. Now, because I was just testing it, I didn't build out something really pretty. But if you wanted to, you could make a report that looks something like this. Now, this is obviously coming from, this is a sample from Google, just so you get an idea of what that looks like. But if you wanted to, you could really create a pretty and gorgeous view just inside of Google Data Studio. And can import that directly. So just wanted to point that out. So basically, thank you for listening to my presentation. Google Analytics can really give you a lot of insight into your courses. I hope that you use it, and yeah, good luck. And please share any feedback or comments that you have in that community space.
Thanks, Jeremy. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to post them in the live chat, and Jeremy will address them. If not, that's fine. He's always available in the community, and you can always ask the question to Jeremy in the event page of this session. Jeremy, thank you so much this morning for being with us and sharing and repeating the session from Monday. We appreciate your time and we appreciate your insights.
Thank you, B-Rai.
You're welcome. Everyone, thank you for being here. And we will hope to see you in a future CanvasCon Encore session or another Canvas Live session. Everyone have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend. Thank you.